So today I have something very exciting going on. Tim here is going to run us through basically everything when it comes to like SMS marketing for businesses and how to sort of implement some strategies through ActiveCampaign and actually his software as well, which, I'm a big proponent of SMS. I tried it out for the first time. I think I mentioned to you, Tim, I tried it out last year and we had about 70 responses in 10 minutes. And I know, stats via email, like I've never seen anything like that. But yeah, Tim, maybe first just tell the quick background on who you are, what you do, and go from there.
Yes, sounds great. Thanks for having me, Lewis. Much
Of course.
appreciated. Tim Preston, my company is Vybrnt. We're an ActiveCampaign consulting agency, and we've been consulting on ActiveCampaign for 7 years now in here in Asia Pac primarily. So we're based outside of Melbourne. And since then, we've been doing pretty much anything to help people succeed on the ActiveCampaign platform. However, about 2 years ago, in the Asia Pac region, there's lots of things we can do with SMS that we weren't really able to achieve an ActiveCampaign. So now that we have the SMS plugin, pretty much takes the ActiveCampaign SMS experience to a new level. So
No, that's amazing. And I'm very excited to dive into this. So I think what would probably be best for everyone to cover today is sort of like, why should businesses use SMS in their, if people aren't already sold on, why do you think they should be using it at this, point in time?
yeah, I think that SMS is really the most powerful form of marketing, actually. So you could probably say that about a lot of different things. A lot of people would have their differing opinions on that. But in terms of database marketing, SMS is very personable, and it's also very sensitive. So you kind of have to have a command and control over how you use it. But once you can get it implemented into your nurture sequences or your nurturing process, you can really start to automate like a real conversation between two people and just take that to the point where you can connect the business owner to the lead in an SMS conversation, and they can really jump a lot of steps in the funnel that way.
No, for sure. And do you think there's any particular businesses that like this works best for, or do you think there's any that like it doesn't work for, or do you think it works for like, all of them?
Yeah, I think there's a use case in pretty much every business for SMS, and it just depends on how you use it. There's a more marketing style SMS where you're going to send an offer or a promotion out a little bit more at like a brand level to a group of people and send an offer code or something to that effect. So for e-commerce businesses, that's probably how they're going to use SMS. Then for, let's say you're a service-based business or a real estate agent or something, you might be looking a little bit more at like sales automation. So you're sending more personable SMS lower down the funnel and just trying to see if someone's interested in the product or service. So there's a lot you can do with it.
No, I agree. And I think one of the benefits to it is people are always on their phones, right? And I think I can't remember the stat. I saw it from Twilio. Like it's probably biased stat. It's probably like some small sample size, but it's like 90% of SMSs get opened, which is crazy because email deliverability is getting harder and harder with Google making all these changes at the start of the year. So I think, as a business, it is important to look at these other channels of, like how can we get to people cost effectively, quickly, and make sure that they're getting it first and foremost, right? If they don't get it, then you could craft the best copy, the best email in the world, have the best offer, and if people aren't seeing it, it's not going to convert.
Yeah, that's right. The whole digital marketing landscape is an ever evolving world, right? And there's lots of privacy, cybersecurity challenges that businesses are facing. So you just kind of always have to be smart about what you're doing, be on top of the compliances. And SMS, if you are on top of it, what you can do with SMS, especially in Australia, is incredible for a marketing agency or for really any business that's running ads and wants to convert leads.
And when you say for like a marketing agency, like how would you, I guess, approach it for a marketing agency in terms of like, complementing what they're currently doing?
Yeah, well, I think that in a digital marketing strategy over the last number of years, there's been a huge emphasis on top of funnel. So like Facebook ads, Google ads, just kind of smashing top of funnel ads. And a lot of businesses have gone very far down that path. And that's probably the majority of digital marketing agencies out there doing some kind of like SEO or top of funnel service. So now with bottom of funnel, it's like a whole nother world where you're building nurture sequences. You're using a system like ActiveCampaign, and it's really the other 50% of the marketing mix. So to take that strategy and really enhance it with marketing SMS, then you have like one-to-one emails as well, one-to-one SMS, MMS. There's just so much you can do with your first party data, and focusing on that is where I would like recommend agencies go a little further with it. So
No, definitely. And it's funny because one of the people that responded to one of my campaigns, I don't know, a few months ago, he actually had a marketing agency, and he's like, he actually like asked me, he's like, how are you sending these messages? Like this is amazing. Like I've never felt like I've had a personal conversation with someone like that in this like, sales process, because it's all automated emails, all that stuff. And I think like we're in a time where it's like everyone knows the strategies of like email lists and all this stuff. So I think there's a rare opportunity with SMS in particular, because one, it kind of has to be very concise, right? You almost don't have a choice. But two, like once someone replies, you can have that conversation really quickly in real time, right? Because email, you might not have open, you're not typing, but text, you could be on the go, you could be on the train, whatever, just, yeah, literally ripping back and forth, which, yeah, I think it works really, really good for building those personal connections. But, Tim, like maybe what could be like really beneficial for the people listening right now, like obviously you work with ActiveCampaign specifically, but I think it could be really cool to sort of show like how you would maybe essentially like add some SMS into a campaign, or perhaps even like set up an SMS campaign to some people who are, let's say they're like, bottom of funnel. They've been on the leads list for a while. What would you sort of do to, yeah, do that? I'll give you permission to share the screen.
Yeah, take you through a quick screen share. So,
And just while you're setting that up, like one question is like, this is almost like a selfish question. Like in terms of like, do you have any data around conversions from like, let's say you had 1,000 leads and you sent like a promotion to 1,000 people. Do you have any like rough, I guess, calculations on what you could expect as a business owner to get from that, from like a conversion standpoint, or like maybe like a number of sales?
yeah, like with database marketing and nurture sequences, like essentially what we look to do is kind of back into the numbers a little bit, but every time you have a like let's say you have 1,000 leads, you're really converting about 10% of those leads to the next stage of the funnel on every like nurture sequence you have. So you have like that first nurture opportunity. Well, let's say at top of funnel, what a lot of businesses try to do, definitely in e-commerce, is they're trying to convert in that like first interaction straight away with showing like more landing pages or showing another offer. Now a certain number of people are going to convert there, and then the other, like let's say 90% probably will not. So then 90% go to the next stage of the funnel. Now they're in a nurture sequence. So about 10%. Now if you have a nurture sequence, a lot of businesses might not even have a nurture sequence at all. They're just trying to do it all right there on the website. Then you can pick up another 10% of leads approximately. 90% of those leads don't convert. So then you go down to the next stage of the funnel. You have another nurture sequence, like a rewarming sequence, another 10% of leads convert across. I would say ultimately, if you're going 1,000 leads, you're looking at, depending on your effectiveness, kind of a 1 to 5% conversion rate all the way to a sale. And then it just depends on what industry you're in and what type of product, you're selling.
And price, of course, too, would be huge.
Yes. And price, of course, as well. So yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I can take this deal pipeline here as a kind of, got my screen. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Cool. So this is an ActiveCampaign deal pipeline. So this is a sandbox account for ActiveCampaign. And as you mentioned, like a lot of marketing agencies might not know how to like do SMS. Like surely anyone can go set up some SMS account on an SMS marketing platform and start sending SMS. But I think where there's a challenge is knowing how to do it. It's high reward, high risk with SMS in terms of like, you might get negative feedback on an SMS campaign. It might not work as intended. So if you have confidence and a command over it, it goes the other way. You can get great results. You can have, it's much lower sensitivity when you have an unsubscribe link and you just do it according to best practices. So here's just one strategy. In a deal pipeline, you have to have the technology to be able to deliver something like this. So in a deal pipeline, these red stages that you see here, it's a pretty standard pipeline. A new lead is acquired. Then someone reaches out to them. Were they connected? Were they not? Try again, second try. Early in the sales pipeline, there's usually a lot of drop off and fall off right there. Like that's, if you're running Facebook ads, 90% of those leads are just maybe not high quality leads, or you can't get in touch with them. So that's where we're going to use some automation. So in stage 2, the action of dragging and dropping a lead into here can trigger a 1-to-1 SMS or really an entire sales automation nurture sequence. And that's usually how we do it. We'll build a couple like one-to-one emails in with a couple one-to-one SMS. And when we say one-to-one, that means it's coming from like a salesperson. It's written from their tone of voice, even from their mobile number directly.
So just to clarify, you have that set up automatically. So when it goes from, stage 1.2 to stage 2, that triggers an automation to essentially send them a personalized message. That's correct?
That's right. That's correct.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
And we do this like the action of dragging and dropping is it's kind of this in between step where it's sort of semi-automated. When you're using sales automation and you're sending messages directly on behalf of a salesperson, it's good to give them like a level of control so they know what they're doing, and you don't just have automations flying out left and right, and sometimes that might not align with what the salesperson's actually working on that day. So they have the option and the control over, okay, I'm going to put this person into my nurture, boom, drag them across, and that will send them into a whole like 2 or 3 email nurture sequence, 2 or 3 SMS.
And just for the people that may be not familiar with ActiveCampaign, so that all, correct me if I'm wrong, happens through the automation section. So you already have that automation set up, and then that trigger just essentially puts them into that automation.
Yeah, exactly right. So with ActiveCampaign, you've got a pretty rock and roll automation builder, and you have all types of triggers. You can trigger a nurture sequence or a flow or an email from a deal stage being moved. You can trigger it from a form being filled out, all types of options there. And then our SMS platform, Vybrnt SMS, is an action step. So again, you have all types of action steps you can use. And that's where you would drag and drop like an action step for a one-to-one email, or you can drag and drop an SMS as well. So you got Vybrnt SMS 2.0. So that's our platform.
No, I love that. And for those of you watching who, don't have a CRM or maybe are using CRM, I've tried a lot of them, and I'm sure, Tim, you've probably tried a lot of them too. I actually, even signed up. I've been using ActiveCampaign for a while, and I got sort of clickbaited into the whole Go High Level is like the best one. And like, honestly, I haven't found one, at the price points that's as like functional, works really clean and well, good UX and UI. But I would 100% recommend ActiveCampaign. I'm sure you'd agree as well, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. ActiveCampaign, what's really makes ActiveCampaign great is it's truly like a product-led platform where the roadmap of ActiveCampaign and the developers, the engineers, the owner of ActiveCampaign, it's all everything that they're doing is like feature-led. Whereas you can go on the other side of the spectrum where you get companies that are really good at marketing their product as like the best one on the market, but then the features themselves might be kind of lacking. Like once you actually get in there and you go under the hood, it's maybe not as great. But ActiveCampaign is an incredible platform. We've been on it for 7 years. We're not switching anytime soon because it's really, the way I look at ActiveCampaign is it's kind of like the ultimate CRM system for the modern day business. Like if you're a startup, if you're a mid-sized business, a small business, ActiveCampaign for sure gives you like the automations, sales automation, a deal pipeline, and then more and more large businesses want it as well because they're just so dependent on their digital marketing and their nurturing, and ActiveCampaign delivers. So
definitely, and I think it's pretty industry agnostic, whether it's e-commerce, marketing agency, any kind of platform you can sort of customize it for. But Tim, I'm curious actually, like what's one thing that most people probably aren't doing with ActiveCampaign that they should?
Yeah, so definitely it's using sales automation features. ActiveCampaign was really built upon this idea and concept of marketing automation, which is essentially sending like a drip feed of emails out on some kind of like behavioral action. So you have a nurture sequence, an email sequence kind of like this. And it's, someone fills out a form, they get an autoresponder email straight away. You wait a day, they get another email. That was a very innovative strategy at one point in time, and it's a little bit more legacy, where it's like should be part of everything that every marketer does, but it's not really innovative. Now you have new features to work with, and in ActiveCampaign you have sales automation as well, and we distinguish that from marketing automation. Marketing automation is like emails coming from the brand level. You're introducing your product, introducing kind of your differentiating factors, and then sales automation is truly trying to automate the job of a salesperson. So in ActiveCampaign, you have send a one-to-one email, and that specific feature is the sales automation feature in ActiveCampaign. And then we also combine that with one-to-one SMS, and that's how we get sales automation out of the system.
Do you think that works for, like, I don't want to say any type of business because that's quite an absolute statement, but like, you know, with sales automation, do you think that can work for selling like or have you seen it work for selling like, let's say like a $3,000 product or service, like without even a sales rep or agent having to, you know, get on the phone with them?
So definitely you can automate that. A sales automation email is coming out of a salesperson's actual email inbox. So if you think about that email that a salesperson is going to write, the same email they're going to write like 10, 20, 30 times a day. Hey, how's it going? I saw that you inquired about our product. I just wanted to reach out, wanted to see if you want to schedule a meeting. Here's my Calendly link. That whole process can get fully automated, and it's a huge time saver. Once the salesperson gets comfortable with it, then they heavily rely on that, and they don't have to write those emails, but those leads are just replying back to their emails. So it creates an inbound effect. So now the salesperson is just getting replies coming back in. Yeah. So
I think that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Because I think it does the automation stuff. I always believe like it just does like 90% of the heavy lifting for us. And then we just have to sort of do that final bit to get over the line, you know?
Yeah, exactly right. So there's an in-between step that we recommend. So when you're starting to go into sales automation, the mistake most people make is they get these like fancy features and they just start going nuts with it, and they start building out these massive spiderweb automations, and there's emails getting triggered left and right. That's not really best practices. We recommend making it like very simple, very linear, have a nice like nurture sequence of 4 or 5 emails. Then when someone goes into the deal pipeline, you can have just a simple action that takes like a couple seconds to do. You drag them across to another pipeline. Now they're getting a nice clean linear drip of sales automation emails, so that everyone knows like what's happening in the system, and it's very methodical. That would really be the best practices. Then you can kind of graduate from that step and start automating even more, or that end-to-end flow can all be fully automated.
That's awesome. I love that. And so what you're doing right now is creating an example of a one-to-one email?
Exactly right. So this is the one-to-one email feature in ActiveCampaign. And this, if you have your email connected to ActiveCampaign, like your Gmail or your Outlook, this email is actually going to go out of your inbox and you're going to see it in your sent folder. So that's how a one-to-one email would be created. And you pre-configure the email. You can use personalization in here. So it could just be like, hi, first name, and you get the idea. So you pre-configure that email, and then that would be a one-to-one email. Then with an SMS message, oftentimes we'll recommend you send an email and an SMS at the same time when you're running sales one-to-one. If someone replies to an SMS, then you're jumping them down the entire funnel. You're just in a one-to-one conversation with them. It sounds like you've kind of had that experience, Lewis. You've been doing a bit of that. It's quite powerful. So this SMS can come straight from someone's mobile number. And that's because we can customize the sender ID. So now you can just write a one-to-one SMS as well.
And so this is basically, setting up so it'll automatically do this when someone enters that automation. It's not necessarily, typing up the thing every time.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So just depending on what your trigger is, could be a deal pipeline, it could be a form fill. And this probably wouldn't be wait a day. Maybe it'd be wait 15 minutes or something like that. And they would get those communications straight away.
I think that's actually such a good insight there, like, because obviously you send an email, right? Not everyone's going to see it right away, but I think you can actually like almost finesse the personalization where it's like, hey, John, just sent you an email, just making sure you got it okay, right? And you send that 10 minutes later, so it's not like bang text, bang email immediately, because then it's like triggers in the brain automation versus like you sort of drip that out like you did 15 minutes. I love that stuff. I think that's probably one of the keys to actually making that automation stuff more personalized, because, you know, every business needs to do automation, or some people go, oh, like automation's bad, blah, blah. But like realistically, like you can't really grow anything if you're doing everything manually, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. I think that where people run into a challenge is like making this practical. Okay. It's one thing to know about all these features and you got the software, the fancy software that can do everything, but to build it into like a real world strategy is a bit challenging. And here's where you have to work with like the sales team or get a salesperson that is kind of switched on, really wants to run these types of strategies, and you can trial it with them. Once they get comfortable, you roll it out to the whole team. So it is kind of baby steps rather than going the other way, just having an automation and just building tons of actions throughout the automation. So
no, for sure. And Tim, like, tell us a little bit about like Vybrnt. Like, what sort of makes you guys unique and different, and like, how could people potentially get started on Vybrnt if they're looking to implement this into their strategy?
Yeah, definitely. So anyone can sign up. Any ActiveCampaign user can sign up for our plugin. It's the URL, you can see it up here, vybrantsms.vybrnt.com. And it is a plugin designed for ActiveCampaign. So rather than having a standalone SMS system, this is built specifically for ActiveCampaign to go on top of ActiveCampaign. You can sign up for an account. Everyone can start with some free credits to get up and running. And then there's just a simple two-way connection. You drop your API keys in, then you connect the app within ActiveCampaign as well, and you're pretty much off and running. And then from there they can reach out to us. Always happy to book a call. Always happy to jump on a call and just run someone through the app. So
awesome, appreciate that. And like, just as well, when you say like it plugs directly in, is there a way that you can, I guess like one-to-one have a back and forth conversation within ActiveCampaign, or do you have to go outside the app to Vybrnt for that?
So yes, within ActiveCampaign, so we have two versions of Vybrnt SMS. One is essentially what we call the free version, where you just top up credits for the SMS. Other than that, all the features are available to use. On a premium version of Vybrnt SMS, we can set up a two-way messaging line, and those conversations, inbound and outbound, are going to come into ActiveCampaign. And you're going to be able to see the message history, and you're going to be able to reply. And then we also have a messaging module within our platform as well, which is like a conversational history of the message. So
cool. So all of them will show up in there.
Yep, exactly right. And
that also will register as the activity, like on the contact in ActiveCampaign, right? It will show like SMS sent.
Exactly. So yeah, we have a custom object. So for ActiveCampaign users, there's a lot of features in here that they're going to recognize, and they're going to say, okay, wow, this some thought has gone into how this has been built, because the ActiveCampaign custom objects record, that's where you're going to get a specific SMS record for every SMS that goes out on every contact. So it gives you a lot of transparency as to what's happening with your SMS.
No. Well, Tim, I mean, is there anything that you think we haven't covered today, or do you feel like we've sort of covered all the foundations of all this stuff?
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it. Every business is different, right? So it's about building like a strategy that's going to work for your specific business, and do it in a way in ActiveCampaign that is effective. So yeah, it's just from there, really, it's getting the strategy right for however you want to use it. But as you know, you can do pretty much anything in ActiveCampaign, and hopefully Vybrnt SMS is a nice contribution to that as well. So
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I think we covered everything, and that was very insightful. I appreciate that a lot. And where's the best place for people to connect with you if they want to sort of learn more about how you can sort of, I guess, assist on the ActiveCampaign and SMS side of things?
Yeah, just head to our website, vybrnt.com, and we spell Vybrnt VYBRNT. So VYBRNT.com, and you can see our SMS plugin there. You can connect with us, book a call. Always happy to jump on a strategy call as well with anyone using ActiveCampaign. Or if you're thinking about using ActiveCampaign and you're kind of briefing out the different systems, always happy to have a chat and demo the system as well. So
awesome, man. Awesome. Tim, appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, Lewis. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.